What's up, everyone? This is Bao Fam of Mixology Studios Online. Welcome to another installment of DOE's Last Definition of a Trapper tutorial series. Today, I'm interviewing the producer of The Plug, Skid Dolla. We're just gonna go over a few things like discuss his background. We'll let up to him tracking us down for his credit, me drilling him to make sure that it was him that produced it, and also me not having the original session and just mastering the MP3. Stay tuned towards the end. We're gonna go into a deep dive on the technical side of me mastering the song with just the limited source material of the MP3. Stay tuned.
Ghetto dope shit right here, man. You didn't know about that.
For everybody that doesn't know your name, state your name, and then I'm gonna do a little something different where you just introduce your social medias first, and then we'll get into the tutorial.
Okay, my name is Skid Dolla. Social media, Instagram is Delari F. YouTube is Dolla757, DOLLA 757. YouTube, Demigod Delari. I'm an up-and-coming producer from Hampton, Virginia, over 30 years old. I've been making beats since maybe like a year before I got out of high school, so I've been doing it for quite some time. I really appreciate you taking the time out to give me a little interview and stuff like that. You know, sometimes being a producer, you don't always get your credit and recognition, so I think this is real dope, and it's real special to me. It happened on my birthday. Rest in peace, DOE.
Appreciate you making the time out. I know it was a little weird with our first introduction via email, but we can discuss that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'll just tell my part and then you can tell your part. This song, The Plug that you produced, I love the song, you know what I'm saying? I love the beat. This is probably like one of the hardest songs that DOE has ever made, and I didn't record it, and this song has been leaked plenty of times. You know, it's been stolen from other rappers where they put it on their own, you know, as their own single and saying featuring DOE. I never knew for the past like 7 years who produced the record. When we did that Clubhouse AMA where we ran track by track, a guy named Andrew that you know, he said that you made the beat, and you know, you reached out to Frank, y'all discussed it, you know what I'm saying, and then I quizzed you. I made it a little tough. Like I said, it's been so many years and it's been leaked so many times, and even though it's been leaked, the song was still strong enough to make the album. Like I said, I apologize if I was a little harsh in the emails, but I just wanted to make sure, man, that you said who you was, and it's just been so much turmoil the past 7 years dealing with the DOE situation. But that's my side. You can tell your side on, you know, how you made the beat all the way up to, you know, reaching out to the A&R and then how it got to DOE.
Well, I made that beat probably, it's probably almost been 9 years ago. I had an artist at the time. I had made the beat originally for him. We was at my homeboy's house. I make all my beats on Fruity Loops, so, you know, I can take my computer anywhere. So I basically made it on my friend's bed or whatever. And from there, we had recorded on it. Like I said, he had some personal issues going on, so we never were able to release the second mixtape. Got his first one on that fifth. But after that, I kept shopping the beat around. Once I asked him was it okay, he was like, yeah, it's cool. So then from there, like I said, A&R Fetty, he got his hands on it. He went to Atlanta a few times. He met a couple of big people. I had bumped into him when he was back in town at a laundromat. He kept asking me, like, hey, bro, you ever heard of this guy named DOE? He said he ran up on me trying to, you know, get me to hear his music. And like I told you before, I'm a big, like, BGM fan, like LDOAT Red, Ben B. Don't Go, Junior Boss. Like, I was probably the only guy in the hood in this area playing that stuff.
Right.
I was like, yeah, bro, like, DOE, he's like a god down south. Like, you don't know, like, you're going to find out. I said, so if you can get him a bigger situation or help him out in any way you can, I think you need to do that. I said, it'll be good for him and you. That's pretty much what he did. Between that time, he was supposed to get me to meet DOE the same week that he actually passed. So that was kind of a heartbreaking situation. Probably like maybe, I want to say 4 years maybe after DOE passed.
Okay.
One of my friends that came up was like, hey, bro, you know you got a beat with DOE? And I was like, nah, I don't, because I thought Fetty would have told me, you know what I'm saying, already. He just always told me DOE liked your music, but he never really gave me the exact details of what was going on at the time, because he had like so many things going on too, and he has like other artists and stuff. So I don't never take stuff.
Let me stop you right there. So for the people that don't know who you're talking about, so tell me where you're from, and then who is Fetty exactly?
Okay, I'm from Hampton, Virginia. Fetty's a guy. He's the official A&R or whatever. So I actually grew up with around him. He's from New York, but he stays in Virginia, so like we went to the same schools and stuff like that. So He had ended up hearing some of my music one time from one of his close friends, tracks at the studio out here. He let him hear my stuff, and so from there, like me and him was networking from there.
Okay, cool. And then his name is Arizona Fetty, right?
Right.
Yeah, and he was an A&R for Blueprint, I'm assuming, at the time. So I never knew that. I probably saw him before inside the studio, maybe at Shakespeare's spot in Atlanta at the Warehouse. But I never knew that. But I know he recorded it at the Warehouse, and he recorded it with an engineer named Keith Dawson. It's been tough trying to get information out of Keith. Originally, how I received the song was through an iPhone message from somebody probably 3 years ago when we were trying to attempt to put this album together. And, I already knew the mix was already rough. At the time, I didn't know who recorded it. After that whole debacle, that whole thing with Frank falling out again in 2017, the thing got scrapped. And then actually, I asked for that same MP3 from the same person again in like November. So I tried to get the session from Keith, or tried to ask him for an updated mix. And it just really wasn't no luck, you feel what I'm saying? So what I did was just master the MP3, which was kind of crazy. But it worked. But not to backtrack, you know what I'm saying? Just basically what happened over this period of time, you know what I'm saying? Because I did mention to you, like, we didn't know who did the record for so many years. So can you tell me how you got informed, like, recently about the beat and about the song?
Well, the first time I heard the actual record, one of my homeboys that came was like, he had pulled up on me, was like, "Hey, bro, you got a song with DOE?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, like, nah, I don't have one." I said, "I know one was trying to be in the works. I was sending beats off, but I haven't heard anything." Right. So he was like, "Bro, I know this beat, because he remembers from my artist rapping on it." So he was like, "This is the same beat Kitchen used." I'm like, "What?" And he played it. I was like, "Oh shit." So then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Well, fuck, I have to find Fetty or something to try to find out what's going on." I didn't have a line on him for a while or whatever, and I'm not like the biggest like social media guy and stuff like that, especially at that time. We talking about years ago. It still wasn't as popular as it is now. I really was disregarded back then. From there, I heard the song or whatever. I had reached out to Frank way back then. But like I said, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes or whatever, but he had took down all the Twitter posts. But I actually did save that to my Instagram when he had mentioned me, and he was like emailing me or whatever to talk about what was going on or whatever. But he had just like kind of disappeared for a while or whatever. So that was that. And then like during that time, I lost computers, lost hard drives and stuff like that. So I didn't have the masters anymore. So I was like, damn.
Because I asked you, can you prove that you're you by having the stems? And you said you lost the record because it was 9 years old.
That was pretty much like a headache. Like that's one thing I always go through. Like even my mom always gets on my ass, like, "You need to back up all your stuff twice." And I don't never think about Google Drive and stuff like that for some odd reason. I always use physical stuff because I move around so much, and everybody doesn't always have internet access where I go. So I always keep like a hard drive on my computer, but unfortunately, I had probably 3 hard drives and 3 computers crash. So imagine how much shit that probably is. But actually, what was weird about this whole thing, a guy that I played on PlayStation with, actually sent me a message and was like, "Hey, bro," he's actually from Alabama. He was like, "Hey, bro, DOE album came out?" And I was like, "Hell no. Like, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "Bro, I've been waiting on DOE album for a long time." Because like I told you, I'm just a fan. Whether my song was up there or not, I still would have got the album.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So I'm just like, "Oh, shit." And he was like, "Bro, your song's over there." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Bro, I know the song." He was like, "Your song's big out here." I was like, "What you mean it's big?" He's like, "I played in the club and all that." Like, this is stuff I never knew.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay. So I went trying to figure out like what I could find, who I could probably talk to about what's going on. And he actually went himself and contacted Frank. Okay. And Frank gave the number, and then he gave it to me.
So you did reach out to Frank a while back. He probably just didn't remember. So yeah, that's the crazy thing. There's a lot of stuff going on back then, man, but I ain't gonna get into the past. People know, you know what I'm saying? They can look that type of stuff up. Man, we can get into the song real quick. I'll just, I'm gonna share my screen real quick and I'm gonna show you what I was working with. man, all I had to work with was the MP3. So as you can kind of see how it is, or this is the original one right here, that is already like a mix on it. And you know, luckily Keith didn't over limit it. You feel what I'm saying? So there's peaks and stuff, so it was workable. Surprisingly, it worked. And this is the final after mastering. I'll play the original real quick just to show you the difference.
Ghetto dope shit right here, nigga. What you need to know about that?
All right, so that's the original, and this was the mastered version. I'll play it from right here.
Hey, shout on the bed. Hey, I said I wanna snatch a Benz, bet on 50 band show. And I need a new connect, cause I just ran though.
As you can hear, it's a huge difference. And I'm gonna just show the audience what I basically did to the record. With this is a regular EQ. I didn't do much to this one at all. And then since, you know, I kind of treat my 2 tracks all the same, with this is like a kind of like a preset chain that I have. This is a Donnie Q V2 where I just make the snare pop by itself. I don't know if I use this or not, but let me play it.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug.
Yeah, so I wanted to use that to make the snare pop some more, and I'm gonna just unmute these as I go.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug. My city.
That's with it off, and this is with it on.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
So it just gives it a little bit more of a snap, and then I use this spiff right here to bring out more of the transients overall on the song. And it's a preset called Add Dynamics to Master, and I may have changed the depth a little bit. So this is with it off.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug.
And this is with it on.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug.
So yeah, like adding spiff is like adding, you know, the liveliness to a record. Then I added a R bass to it to bring out the low end. This is with it off.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
Then I added it back in.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug.
All right, and then I ran it through a Spectre to kind of bring in the low mids of the record, because I felt like the MP3 and the rough mix was kind of thin. I don't really look at the specific number. I just do it by feel and by my ear. So this one is sitting at 184, I believe, 184 hertz. 1 decibel up, and then this one is hitting at 450. It's just something around that frequency that just kind of brings a thickness and fullness to the record.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
This is with it on.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug.
And it's best to hear this through headphones anyway. You know, all these are real subtle moves, you feel what I'm saying? Especially when mastering, you really don't want to push stuff too hard unless it needs it. And this center plug-in was just mainly a volume thing. I see that I pulled the sides down. So usually I'd use this plug-in to bring the volume back up to hit my mastering chain. I guess to bring more of the presence, I kept the center up and I pulled the sides all the way down. So I'm gonna play this.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck. Damn, down to my last 31. Bed is clean, so I'ma scratch that bitch like LeBron.
Usually the vocals are like dead smack in the middle in a mix. So to bring that up, I pulled the sides down. That's why I did that. And then I did some paralleling with the sub again. And then I ran it through this mastering chain. I EQ'd it a good bit right here.
Cause I just ran.
So I'm gonna take this off real quick.
Cause I just ran though. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
So, and then I'll play it back with it on.
Cause I just ran, dog. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
So with this AMIC EQ by Plug-in Alliance, I really love this, the top end, like the 20 to 26 K, boosting that, and I boosted it a lot actually. Now I see it, and I boosted more of the presence around 1.6, and then also the mids around 300. I guess I did that too. I felt like after I listened to the record on the album compared to the others, I probably could have boosted the low end a little bit more, but it worked how it worked, and then ran it through, you know, Jay's Ozone 4 by Jason Joshua, followed by our compressor, and then I clipped it with K-Clip 3 to bring the volume and the loudness up by clipping the whole record, and then ran it through this Gold False. It's a smart EQ to, I guess, tame some things in this record.
Cause I just ran, dog. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
This was off.
Cause I just ran, dog. Now nigga need a new plug. My city drive, fuck these niggas ticket high, fuck.
So yeah, like I said, you gotta listen to it in headphones and bring that up. And then that's pretty much what I did, man. You made this on Fruity Loops, right?
Yes, sir. Most of the beat is pretty much the piano part comes from Nexus. The organ comes from a plugin called B4. I think this name's Instruments, if I'm not mistaken. The synth sound comes from Gladiator, and pretty much all the drums come from. It's a vibe kit, VYBE.
Okay.
Vibe drum kit. So that's where most of those kicks come from.
Okay.
And I mean, probably took me like an hour, 20 minutes, something like that.
Okay, cool.
When I did it.
Yeah, man, the synth is like the most recognizable part of that record. Like that's what sells that beat to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so reminiscent of, like, you know, that Cash Money / No Limit Records type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? That Doe really loved, and I felt like wanted to bring back, you know, as evident with the Kemosabe record that he had back in the day. Yeah, it's a great record, man. I appreciate you reaching out. I'm glad we got to this point. And
one thing I want to say too, I really appreciate what you did to the MP3. That's amazing, bro. Like, that was
yeah.
I'm no engineer by far. Like, I just do beats. The engineering and mixing and stuff, I leave that to the pros, man.
Nah, it's all good, man. You know, I just really felt strongly about the record, man, and I tried my best possible to bring out the record as much as possible with the source material that I had, and you know, it wasn't that great, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad that people still love it, because, like, you know, you can't recreate that type of vibe, bad mix or not. I do want to say to the people that are watching, what's most important is like the feeling of a record. Mixing is important too, beats are important too, you feel what I'm saying? But like once you capture it, you know, it's only one time you can capture it, and you can't capture that feeling, that moment again. And then also to all the people that are out there, you know, back up your stuff, back up your beats, you know what I'm saying? Save your sessions. As artists, save your own sessions from the studio, get a hard drive. Producers do all the same type of thing. And by the grace of God, we found Skid Dolla. It made an album, and, you know, and people are gonna love it. And I want to give the recognition to you, man, because you really deserve, producers really deserve their credit. I hope this is as much payback as I can give, and whatever I can do in the future as well, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, this is more than appreciated, bro. I'm still on the hunt. I still got like 2 or 3 more tracks I'm trying to hunt down. So
okay.
This is a long
For everybody that's watching this, the video and tutorial, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, comment, share this video, and shop with Skid Dolla.